So how you been, man? How's it going?
I've been good, man. Just navigating these waters like everybody else. Trying to get back on the comedy wagon. I jumped off for a little bit. The crazy times with the COVID, Zoom shows, that whole era is over. I'm back.
We finally got through it all. And when did you? How long have you been back at it?
So that's the thing. So the comedy clubs were closed for a whole year. Then they opened it up in limited capacity. I did about one or two shows in the limited capacity. Then I said, you know what, let me just sit it out for now. I don't know. I just didn't have that fire burning at the time. It wasn't, people weren't coming to shows because they didn't feel safe.
Right.
Even like governors, they do a great job of, making sure everything's sanitized. They were doing a great job through the pandemic, but the government restricted them. So even though everything was, sanitized, health and safety, it was all the restrictions. Then doing a show behind plexiglass was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Of course, you do shows with not that much people, but just the whole feeling of that comedy club energy, I just didn't feel it was there. So I just focused on a lot of other things. I got into real estate, trying to get my real estate license.
Nice.
I just did a lot of things on the personal end to try to make some more money.
Yeah.
Comedy doesn't pay right now. Hopefully one day it will. But right now I had to find other ways. So you have to get creative. I got into the stock market a little bit. I'm trying to, focus on things like that.
Yeah, man. I jumped in on the stock market too during COVID. That's when I first got started actually paying attention to the market and getting in. Yeah. And I jumped in and with the meme stocks, AMC, GME, all them, and now I'm like, yeah. So, but and some I got some Bitcoins and all that kind of stuff. And now the whole world's starting to move towards these NFTs and all
another
that.
thing to learn about.
Yeah, man.
Every year is something new.
You should put out an NFT. You create your own.
I mean, I'm not artistic in that way. I can't really draw, but I can probably mint something. I don't know.
You never know. Yours could be one of those rare dimes that everybody wants.
Right? Yeah, I'm just gonna mint something. Everybody else is minting shit. Why not?
But yeah, man, and I'm hoping, dude, that I know I don't think COVID's ever gonna go away, but I'm hoping that we're at least in some kind of a new normal where we don't get locked down ever again, man. That was just freaking crazy. And it's still like nobody knows for sure if the lockdown prevented anything, helped anything, made it worse, made it, you know what I mean? It was
just locked down and that's all we know. But yeah, it's the new normal. I just hope, we just, like you said, no more lockdowns. We just continue to find ways to live with it and deal with it and, do it in a healthy way where we're not getting people sick, lives aren't lost, but we have to just adjust to it. It's going to be like every other disease that's started out back in the 1400s and still here today.
I know, man. It's crazy. But one thing for sure is we saw, like, throughout all of history, but at least we saw comedians really emerge, and there always seems to be in the headlines throughout everything. And now here we go. We got, Chappelle's been in the news for even before this attack or whatever, that guy who got his ass beat. But even before that, Chappelle was in the news for his comedy and the special.
Well, around 100 people have protested outside Netflix headquarters in California over the broadcast of a comedy special by Dave Chappelle, which they say is transphobic.
Then you had Rogan, Roseanne Barr. Like, there's always these comedians always seem to be hot topics in the news. But I still think that comedians are very important to our culture, and I think we need comedians more than ever. And I just think comedians need to stay the course and keep challenging the status quo.
Does it bother you that the news network you work for out and out lied, just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer?
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't ask? You didn't think that was you're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before coming on your podcast.
But they did it with such glee.
No,
yes,
Joe.
They did. I watched.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. They need to leave comedians and comedy alone. This has to be the last free form of artistic expression that just needs to remain the same. The PC culture is definitely affecting that. it's taking it's taken away from comedy. You know, some of the things that we talk about that, you know, might not be the status quo or in line with public opinion. That's the whole point of comedy. But you really have to listen to what the comedian's saying, because when you really get the gist of the joke, they're usually bringing enlightenment to a situation, or, you know, turning a bad situation good. You know, it's a lot of positive affirmations. So we're just trying to make people laugh through pain, through their life struggles. And we're going to say things that's not the popular opinion, and that's okay.
We learn white people know how to keep a secret. Y'all didn't tell us shit this election, not nothing. We didn't know white people was up to something until they started showing white people in line voting. And all the white people looked like they had a secret to keep and shit. You
know, if you don't like it, don't go to the show. If you know he's gonna say something that might offend you, pick a different comedian. There's so much different types of comedy out there for everybody. I compare it to food. You know, everybody, no matter how popular pizza is, everybody doesn't like pizza. Right, if you don't like, don't eat the pizza. So, you know, don't go to the comedy show if you don't like what Dave Chappelle talks about, because they're definitely very important, you know, to the world. And you don't know how many times, you know, I've seen people do shows and, you know, it might be a joke about cancer, and somebody who actually has cancer comes up to the comedian and saying, you know, that joke, you know, meant something to me. It didn't hurt me. It actually, you know, made me think about my mom that passed away from cancer and how she was during cancer. You know, there's so much different things comedy does, you know, other than offend. You know, that's like the least thing it does.
That's the thing. Some people, they don't hear, they're listening to comedy differently. They're not hearing the punchlines. They're almost taking it matter of fact. They don't understand that there's a joke there or a message there. Like, you know, with the Chappelle thing, if you listen to that last special, to me, it was almost like a love letter of sorts to that friend of his.
But 6 days after that wonderful night I described to you, my friend Daphne killed herself. Oh, yeah. It's a true story. My heart was broken. Yeah, it wasn't the jokes. I don't know if it was them dragging her. I don't know what's going on in her life, but I bet dragging her didn't help. I was very angry at them. I was very angry at her. I felt like Daphne lied to me. She always says she identified as a woman, and then one day she goes up to the roof of a building and jumps off and kills herself. Clearly, only a man would do some gangster shit like that. Hear me out. As hard as it is to hear a joke like that, I'm telling you right now, Daphne would have loved that joke. That's why she was my friend.
And it really comes all full circle at the end of that thing. And yeah, there's jokes riddled all within there, but it's still like, if you listen to the whole thing, to me, it's more of a unifying type of a message than anything else. And I think, you know, imagine if they silenced, you know, Richard Pryor or George Carlin, or, you know, and some of the positive messages that came through there, and all the people that they inspired and influenced. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
imagine them not saying what they wanted to say at the time. You know, how much historic comedy that we will be missing out on. You know, a lot of it wouldn't have aged well in this new PC culture. It was definitely needed out of the course of comedy. See, I just think people need to just leave comedy alone. You know, don't take it at face value. Look for the real message in it, you know, and that's what I think needs to happen. And, you know, for all the comedians out there, if you're going to go the route of, you know, dark humor or jokes that's, you know, might trigger somebody, just make sure the joke is funny. That's the number one rule in comedy. If you're going to go that route, make sure the joke is funny, because if the joke isn't funny, you're doing a disservice to comedy by trying to do that. I've seen people try to be Dave Chappelle, and it doesn't work out for them because they're not Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. I forget who said it, but one of there is a comedian that had once said, he goes, look, nothing is off limits. You could joke about anything, even the most darkest shit, but it's got to be funny. It's got to have a payoff. If you go down that road and you go down this dark road of whatever dark subject you want, rape, pedophilia, whatever crazy shit you want to get into, that's fine, but make sure it's got a funny payoff.
Has to be funny,
Otherwise, you just come off as a bigot, a racist, or, you know, a misogynist if it's not funny.
So that's my advice to, the comedians out there, and I don't need to tell them that, they already know. But sexual assault, I mean, it's a crazy thing. Like, you see what happened with Bill Cosby? I was like, how the hell did Bill Cosby get all these drugs? That's a lot of drugs to rape 50 women. And I sat and I thought about it and I figured it out. He was such a fucking good actor. He had pharmacists thinking Dr. Huxtable was a real doctor. Dr. Huxtable was prescribing Bill Cosby with drugs. But yeah, no, there's nothing in comedy. There's no limits to comedy. There's no guardrails to comedy. Comedy is different to each person, to the person giving the comedy, and to the person receiving the comedy. So just got to leave it alone. This cancel culture is terrible. People have got canceled. I don't think Dave Chappelle could get canceled. He canceled himself when he walked away from Comedy Central and didn't take the 50 million. Do you think he could be canceled? I don't believe so.
I don't think so. The dude's the GOAT, and he's one of the greats of all time. That's saying a lot. And you know why I know he's not going to ever get canceled? Because after he just got tackled, and people from the the trans community are defending him.
What Dave did, what the great Dave Chappelle has just done is opened up a forum to have a real conversation between the heterosexual and the gay community. There is no topic that should be off limits. In the words of the great poet Nikki Giovanni, I have never worked a room where the door is locked. If you're in a room and you're uncomfortable, you are free to leave.
When that happens, then you're like, okay, this guy is being forgiven. And also that dude who tackled him, man, did
he got too nuts. I mean, he was asking for it. What do you expect? I seen he got stomped out by security, for Dave Chappelle friends. I seen regular people coming up stomping him out.
Make some noise for hip hop history.
Down.
They said Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart might have got it.
I'm telling you, I seen all these people in suits. I'm like, oh damn, everybody's fucking this guy.
That guy took a beating for, like, we were just talking about the political correctness. So every frustration that every comedian faced, they took it out on that guy. Like for Jon Stewart and Jamie Foxx to get in on that.
I know those are some guys you wouldn't even think would participate in that, but they got their stomps in it. I'm not mad at it. If somebody rushes me on stage, I hope all my comic friends do the same thing.
Yeah, man.
Fighting this guy out.
Dude, if political correctness had a face, it was that dude. And he got his ass beat.
Yeah, that was culture, put PC culture and his name on the same level. That's what we feel about it. That's what happened. So he directly challenged the status quo. He went right for it.
Dude,
the question is, how did he do that? How did he get through the Hollywood Bowl security with a fake gun that contained a knife? Not to mention it looks like a gun and it's a knife.
That's what's crazy. He got through security with what appeared to be a gun. It was a switchblade or something came out, and it was a knife. I mean, thank God he didn't come out and slashing away or stabbing at him.
Thrones at it, that would have been fucked up.
Yeah, man, dude, that was freaking crazy. But I'm kind of glad in a way that they beat his ass like that, because you need to set an example like this to be like, look, don't rush the stage, because this isn't the Oscars. You're not Will Smith. You're not going to sit back down and enjoy the show. You're going to get your ass beaten.
You're going to get beat down. I mean, just look at the whole Mike Tyson thing, the guy on the plane.
Yeah.
An idiot on the plane. You're going to get your ass beat by none only but Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And I just saw today, no charges. He's not going to be charged for it, which he does not deserve any charges.
No, he was harassed.
He deserved to get his ass beat. So did the Dave Chappelle guy. So that's 2 wins for comedy, 2 wins for comedy, 0 for PC culture.
Yeah. Maybe it's a new trend. Yeah. Maybe it's a new trend now. Maybe now we just beat people's asses.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wish that happened more often. To people who deserve it. I don't condone violence, but some people deserve it.
Dude,
that broken arm that the guy got, he deserved that.
He deserved that, man. It was all twisted up.
Yeah. So.
And that Mike Tyson thing, man, that guy was just antagonizing him, laughing at him, like just being an idiot. I think that guy was drunk or something. I don't know what the dude's thing was. But yeah, my only regret is I wish they showed like the guy was rolling longer on the beatdown because
they cut it. Yeah, I want to see a traditional Mike Tyson beatdown on the asshole on the plane. But yeah, people are crazy. People don't realize celebrities are real people.
They're real people, and you mess with a guy like Mike Tyson, he's gonna, he's a real dude. He's from the street. You know what I'm saying? He's like authentic. He's not,
he's not nobody to play with. So that's the wrong person. And I'm sure the guy know who Mike Tyson is. I mean, I think he was trying to get paid. One thing I could think about, he wanted, I'm gonna get fucked up, get some money. I don't even know. Last I heard, Mike Tyson don't even got money like that. I don't even know.
Yeah, I know. Who knows, right?
Shit did it to Bezos, Elon.
Yeah, if you're on a flight with Elon, yeah,
you made it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because it's probably some private. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly, man. Now, you don't encounter much of that stuff. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be jumping up on the stage, but do you get like heckled and have to deal with any of that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, heckling's part of comedy. No matter where you go, people are drinking. It's late at night. They might have had one too many. They might just want to participate. Some people obnoxiously do it. That's when it's a problem. Some people are just having a good time. They don't understand that you're trying to do something up there, but it's good for comedy. I've seen a lot of great exchanges with a heckler and a comedian, what turned out to be comedy gold. So, sometimes people just challenge you and you just have to address it, address it, make it funny. That's, we're doing comedy here. So you just make it funny. And, but I do believe if it's a continuous thing, if it's every comic that comes up, if it's, throughout the whole set, you can't get jokes out of somebody just interrupts you every second.
Right,
so clubs, they got to get the people out of there that does that. Innocent heckling, exchanges, that's fine. Even if, you're bombing and they say shit to you, you gotta have that experience to get better. So it's part of comedy. It's always going to be there. But the whole, rushing the stage, physical interaction, that's definitely unacceptable. That's in any sense. It's been going on in comedy. I know comedians that has been challenged like that. Comedians walk out the comedy club, get punched in the mouth. It happened. So we're worried that we have to have some self-defense tactics in our tool belt. But for people are saying there's going to be a correlation with what's going on and on stage. I don't believe so. That's not going to happen.
I don't think so.
Isolated incidents, and we're going to just keep comedy moving as usual. So comedians are not worried about it at all.
They need to get some metal detectors or some cameras. Shit, I need to be safe when I'm up here. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little nervous. I came in here and I saw who the fuck security was. If something go down here, what the fuck is he gonna do? Security's supposed to be 6'5", muscular, strong. He don't fit the job description. They need to put the black guy in security and put him in the coat check. Protect the shit out of my coat. Make sure I get that shit back in one piece.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to become a thing, like a trend. I just think they were too random. I think whether or not Will Smith happened or didn't happen, that guy was still going to tackle Chappelle. That guy's just mentally unstable and nutty. So I don't think some people are making it like Will Smith has now the domino that's it's going to trend out. Everyone's going to be attacking comedians. I don't believe that's
the two don't correlate. That was Will Smith's, whatever hell he's going through. They didn't like the joke, he just did what he did, but it's not going to lead people to say, let's go on the stage and slap the comedian, especially what happened with Dave Chappelle. If you go on stage and slap a comedian, you could expect to get beat the shit out of you. A lot of comics, they know how to defend themselves. And if they don't, there's a bunch of other comics on the show. Like you're not gonna make it out of there unharmed unless you're Mike Tyson. If Mike Tyson come up and slap me, I just got slapped. That's different though. That's a regular person. Like I said, I don't condone violence, but self-defense is self-defense.
Self-defense is self-defense, man. And like you said, if it starts to become a trend, you got to do something about it. But I don't see that happening. I think you're always going to still get like at the midnight show or whatever, late show. There's always going to be some drunk dudes.
Late night, drinking all night. Yeah, there's going to be drunk people, being obnoxious. It's a better question is, what are comedy clubs gonna do in situations like that? Because comedians don't get protection like all the other creative artists.
Yeah.
There's not security at every show. I mean, Governor's Comedy Club does a good job. They have security at every show, every single night. So I don't see that happening at a club at Governor's level. But there are clubs, throughout Manhattan that might not say, oh, we don't need security this night. Anything could happen. So we definitely should be protected as well as every other creative.
True indeed. Yeah, man. And I think so too. And like you said about Governors, they got the best security there. And it's just a great safe place. So, anyone watching this and want to go to the show, go to the show.
Oh yeah, definitely go to the show, get some good comedy. The food is amazing. It's, you got young comics, new up and coming comics that's been in the game doing it, and the facilities is super nice. So
yeah,
I think it's the best comedy club in the state, maybe the country, but I might be biased because they're the one who gave me my start. So
yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, they gave me my start too. I actually started comedy at McGuire's back in the day. Yeah, like in the late '90s into the early 2000s, and then I just had a wake up call. I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. I was slapped by Will Smith and I stopped. And it was a young Will Smith came out.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If Will Smith slapped you, you should have a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
I know Chris Rock is. Chris Rock's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid.
Yeah. Oh,
sales went up, and that's indirectly getting paid. But I think it's gonna be a lawsuit coming because I would take advantage of the opportunity too. Why not?
Dude,
my brain is tarnished.
Yeah, man. He had the best night of his life, but the end of his career all in the same day. It's just nuts, man. I don't think that's ever happened to anybody where you like literally have the greatest night that you've been working towards for your whole life is to win the Oscar, and then you also destroyed your entire career all in the same
hour
building. Yeah, the same hour, man. That's
that's hard to do. It's hard to fuck up a career's worth of work on the night you get awarded for it, but he did it.
Wow, man.
And that's why I thought he went wrong. If he wanted to slap Chris, if he felt in his heart of hearts Chris Rock needs to be slapped, what he said, he could have did at the gold party, the after party. He could have waited. It wouldn't have been that much backlash.
Yeah, man. He shouldn't have done it. I don't know what went through his mind when he did it, but I think he could get his money back if he down the road, once he sells his movie rights over or his biography, and then they do like the life story, the rise and fall of Will Smith. But man,
no publicity is bad publicity. So he's gonna find a way through this. Or it might propel him in some way. It's gonna be something. He could put something out, and everybody's gonna want to hear about it. They want to hear about what was going through his head. So he's gonna get a lot of clicks whenever the time comes. And I'm a huge Will Smith fan. Will Smith was my favorite actor, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's one of the people who I look to, one of my comedy idols, even though he didn't do stand-up comedy, but his comedic acting really got me. So it was hard to see that, and Chris Rock too. I grew up on Chris Rock. When I do stand-up, people tell me I sound like Chris Rock. So it just sucked for both parties, just bad night. His brand is forever tarnished. His mom saw it. Like, it's just a bad night. He didn't deserve that. Chris Rock didn't.
Chris Rock didn't deserve it. I think his kids were in the audience too, I think, right? They all got to see that. So yeah, for me, like when I first watched it, I immediately felt for Chris Rock because he keep my wife's name out, you fucking, and all that. And Chris Rock's like, okay, like he kind of backed down.
Yeah,
in a way. And look, Chris Rock's really from Brooklyn. Yeah. So he's a came up street dude, like regular guy, and then Will's from Philly. So that feeling when you get kind of when you get in a situation you got to back down.
Yeah. You look soft to everybody that's watching.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's expecting them to hit back. People back in Brooklyn. It's what we gotta deal with. Because as a man, if somebody does that to you, you gotta respond and show like I'm a man too.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
But he's at the Oscars.
And he did the right thing. He did the right thing.
Yeah, he's a true professional.
But that's like if somebody says, pushes you or something and goes, you're not gonna do nothing about it or something like that.
Yeah.
Or what you gonna do? You can do
like,
nothing.
at your
Thought so.
wedding when your whole family's there and everybody
Yeah,
the
yeah.
more that loves you is there, and somebody just pushed you on the altar.
That's rough, man.
So yeah, same feeling, same sentiment. Sad for both parties. Will Smith shouldn't have done it. Chris Rock didn't deserve it.
Yeah, man.
And it's gonna be in entertainment history.
Dude, it's definitely it's there forever, dude.
That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
And you now are back at it. You're getting back in the ring, so to speak, and you have this open mic at the brokerage.
Yeah.
Is that weekly?
There's a monthly. So monthly at the brokerage. It's going to be on a Friday. The next one is May 20th. Anybody who's trying to sign up, we still got some slots available. That's how I got my start. So it's really an honor for me to be able to host it, because I remember, 4 years ago, I just walked into there, did my first set ever, and I'm here now, so to bring it all back around and be able for me to host it and give newer comics that opportunity for stage time, for some guidance, advice, I'm just happy to do that. And Long Island Comedy's back. We have so much talent on Long Island. We got to just put our resources together, put ourselves out there, and really show the world. I say it all the time. Eddie Murphy and Jerry Seinfeld, two of comedy's biggest legends, came from Long Island. So why can't one of us be next?
Exactly,
so
bro.
What we're trying to do. So yeah, May 20th at 10 o'clock, the brokerage.
Awesome. And now when you look at the Long Island comedy scene, like you said, we get so many greats that came up through the Long Islanders. The list goes on and on. I mean, but what do you think about the scene now and the camaraderie amongst the comedians? Do you think we're building up a scene? And I know you're helping to build that scene. So what are you trying to tell me about the comedy scene right now?
Yeah, so the comedy scene is solid. There's a lot of different people doing good, big things, producing some great shows. It's a lot of different comedy niches in Long Island. You'll find a little, offsets of people, groups doing different things together. I see a lot of comedians branching out more, which is a good thing. They're going out and doing shows in the city because, at the end of the day, Governor's Comedy Club provides a huge platform for us to get great stage time in front of a great audience. But at some point, if you're trying to really do something with comedy, you have to venture into the city and, earn your stripes there as well. So I'm starting to see more comics do that. But Long Island is weird because each comic has their different, their own reasons for doing comedy. There might be somebody who's their highlight of comedy is just, performing at Governor's, and that's okay. That's what they want to do. They don't want to venture off in the city. And like I said, we all do comedy for our own reasons. So that's completely fine. And then you have people who really wants to, be the next Kevin Hart or whoever their favorite comic is. And they have to, venture to the city, get to know people, network, and just be funny. The biggest thing about it, you got to be funny. So, the only way to get funny is to just hit multiple stages with, different audience and different perspectives. The comedy scene in Long Island is strong, coming back. I'm trying to just get back into the mix of things, see what's going on. I stepped away for about a year. So I just really got to, just get the swing of things again. But I like what I see. I was at Governor's last, I want to say Sunday, and they had some great shows there. So it's good to see everybody, out there working and just having a good time.
Right on, man. And now that, like you said, like now you're running the show and the host of the show and booking it. Are you watching comedians a little bit different, more like a scout?
Oh yeah. I mean, whenever I watch comedy, I'm watching it. I'm trying to learn. Like I'm a scholar of comedy. So, even though somebody might see me, I'm not laughing. It might be a hilarious joke. And in my head, I'm like, damn, how did they think of that?
Yeah.
Of, how they got there. So yeah, I definitely watch comedy different, but I'm a fan of comedy. So I do enjoy watching, my peers perform. I enjoy watching the people I look up to. There's a lot of OGs on Long Island that, when I first started, I thought they were the best thing ever. And they gave me advice. They put me under their wing. And, like John Ziegler is one of the people. So I definitely, and I always love watching them perform. Carrie Karavis is another one of my favorites. I love watching her perform.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She gave me a lot of great advice. So yeah, I watch it as a fan, but as a scholar, I think it's important. And you got to watch. I tell people all the time, don't only watch the people that you like. Watch the people that, might not be your first choice, because they all bring something different to comedy. And you could always take something from them. Comedy, you got to find your own comedic voice. But, we all take from our favorite acts something, their delivery, their approach, their writing style, but you have to make it your own, because, copycats and comedy is the worst thing that could be out there.
Yeah. It's like biting rhymes in hip hop, man.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. You're not gonna make it doing that. You might have a great night in a room, but on the large scale, if you're using somebody else's jokes as your set, it's gonna catch up to you. Carlos Mencia.
Oh man, dude.
That happened.
And Dane Cook, and even Amy Schumer, one of our Long Island's own here.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of hard evidence against the
dude. For sure.
I'm not going to be the judge, but I've seen the evidence presented and it looks a little sketchy.
Yeah. She's, I mean, when it comes to Amy, I think for sure she's, right there with Mencia. I just think too, when you do a show like she was doing that show on Comedy Central, the pressure to deliver week after week, and
tough.
Yeah,
you
so
got network executives on your back.
Yeah,
you got the ratings, you got your fans that you want to. It's hard to come up with creative material like that consistently. That's why I give it up to all the Dave Chappelle's, and even the Instagram creatives. They're for them to make those videos consistently, because they have to keep pumping them up. You can't do it 1 month and stop. You got to consistently, day after day, be consistent with it. So it's hard to do, and I commend the people who do it with just 100% original creativity. Don't steal from anybody.
Yeah, man. And like you said, like when it comes to Instagram and like TikTok and stuff, they got to do that every day. They got like TikTok every day.
Yeah.
That's
like TikTok. I'm about to go on YouTube. I got to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. But that's TikTok's crazy. But with the brokerage show, so anybody can sign up. Are there any criteria? Is it just like like how many minutes do they get? Just walk me through. Like if if it's my first time, give me the pitch. What do I got to do?
So in order to perform, you have to bring at least 6 paying guests. And with that, once you get the 6 paying guests, you get 7 minutes of stage time. But there's an added incentive for once you get to the 6 guests, you're going to get $5 per guest. So you get paid for performing. So if you get the 6, that's already $30. For every person after that is $5 more. So there's some incentive to make some money, which I didn't have. I just got 7 minutes. So we have the cash incentive. But most importantly, you get that 7 minutes of stage time at the Brokerage Comedy Club, which is, a premier comedy club. You actually get a real audience. So, it is labeled the open mic showcase, but it's not your typical open mic where you're just performing in front of comedians and working on new stuff. You actually have a live crowd. There's going to be food going on. It's going to be high energy. So if anybody wants to sign up, they could email govsopenmic@gmail.com. They could even reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram. My Instagram is Sean B Comedy, SEAN, the letter B, comedy. They could find me there. And sign up. Let's have a good time. So when I'm gonna be taking pictures, I'm gonna have a photographer come out so you could get some great stage shots. And I'm also looking to record the show. So hopefully that comes to fruition. But it's gonna be a great night. All you need is 6 guests, 6 paying guests. Get 6 of your buddies, your family. They'll come out to see you and make it a memorable night.
Dude, I love it. I love the pay incentive to it. I think that's a good twist on it. It encourages people to for these bringer shows to want to get some people and and then it also fills the room. So all the comics have a good nice audience to work off of, because like to your earlier point with Zoom, it's so much better to feed off that energy and that vibe when you get a good audience. Yeah, man.
That energy is definitely different, and the cash incentive is important because I believe comics should get paid. So being able to provide, even if it's just $5 per person, it's still an incentive, because we all know the bringer shows very hard to do, especially after you've been in the game for a little while. Very, very hard to do with the bringer shows. But if you could do it, if you can manage it, get 6 people and just come down to the show and get that experience, to stay on stage. Like I said, it changed my life. So hopefully it could change somebody else's.
Right on, man. Sean, you rock, my friend. And thanks again for coming on the show here. This was a great conversation with you. Hope to have you on again soon. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate man. It. Yeah, man. You rock, my friend. Sean Brown, everybody. Check out his show at the Brokerage. Check him out on YouTube and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. And he's going to start doing TikToks.
Yeah, TikTok. So all my social media is the same, Sean B Comedy. Nothing's on TikTok yet, so you're going to see a blank page, but I appreciate the follow.